In contemporary spiritual teachings, a lot of emphasis is given to consciousness. It goes like this. We are asking what I am. And we see from our experience, first of all, that we are conscious of objects. You know, I'm feeling this chair, I'm looking at this camera, I'm thinking, I'm feeling, and I'm aware that I'm thinking, that I'm feeling, and everything else. But if all we can do is be conscious of stuff, then doesn't that mean that we are what's conscious of that? Sure. Okay, yes, I am what's conscious of that, right? Okay, so what's conscious of that? Well, of course, what can be conscious of that? It's consciousness. So, alright. Whew! We've taken the first step. We are consciousness, yeah. What's actually consciousness? What is it? Okay, we see that there are objects. We are conscious of objects. And then spirituality says those objects are consciousness. Those objects are made of consciousness. The world is made of consciousness. Whatever I'm conscious of, that's consciousness, because without consciousness, what would it be? Nothing. But I have to ask you, what actually is consciousness? If all the objects are consciousness, what's consciousness without those objects? What's consciousness before these objects? And that's the question that comes from the first realization, that we are what's aware of those objects, right? So, what are we if we don't see those objects? And they say we are pure consciousness. That's the leading understanding of spirituality today. We are pure consciousness without an object. I'm asking you, what is pure consciousness without an object? That's my question to you. I'd love to hear some unique answers, because all I get is it's pure consciousness without an object. And then I'm asking you, how do you know? Because if you have no objects, when you are pure consciousness without an object, if you do it through meditation or in deep sleep, I don't know, but how do you know you are consciousness without an object, without objects, without being conscious of objects? How do you know? And I'd love to hear an answer. Look what I think. Let's be honest here. You can't have consciousness without objects. I don't think so. That's my premise. So what can you have? So what is consciousness? Well, we all know that we experience stuff. And we actually know that all we know of stuff is that we experience it. That's how we experience stuff, by experiencing it. It's tautological, and it's actually, I'm not saying anything new. That's it. We experience stuff, so we experience it. Okay, what if there was only this experience? Forget consciousness, let's say. Forget consciousness. What if all we knew about stuff we are experiencing it stuff that we experience is that we experience it. And not even that we experience it, because that's what we're trying to find. We're trying to find what am I. But what if all we knew is that there is this experience? So what am I in this experience? If there is only this experience, what am I? And should I be something in this experience? Am I something? Perhaps, and I'll leave you to think about it, perhaps there is no I in this experience. Perhaps what I is another thought in this experience that's happening. And perhaps experience doesn't come from an entity, you know? Perhaps I am not having this experience. When I say I mean the real I, you know? The true self. Maybe there is no such thing. And that's what some people call no self. But we also have to ask, and that's going to be in the next video probably. We also have to ask, so what? What if there's no self? What good does it do to me, okay? So if we can only experience experience, it's impossible that there is an experiencer, and I'll tell you why. The concept of experiencer implies that we know that there is an experiencer, which implies that we have experienced him, and that's impossible. I guarantee you that you can't experience the one who is experiencing. Then if you can't experience him, how can you ever know that he is there? And the answer is, my answer is, you can't. The experience would be the experiencer. The experiencer would be another experience. And that's not what we're looking for. We're looking to who's having this experience. Can we know him? Is he there? Is she there? Is it there? Is something outside of experience, spiritually speaking? Beyond experience is something outside of what is known, of what can be known. So, when it comes to knowing the truth, to knowing what is and what am I, the truth of my experience, isn't experience the only thing to be experienced? So, is consciousness what I am? Well, if we define consciousness as the one who is experiencing stuff, let me tell another thing, okay? If we define consciousness as the experience we're having of things, then consciousness is simply the experience we're having of things. That's also another tautology. But if it refers to who is experiencing, then we have to establish that there is something outside of experience, existentially speaking, spiritually speaking. So, can you find such a thing? The burden of proof in this case is upon the one who makes the claim that there is one who is experiencing. That's it for today, folks. My name is Theodor Yiannopoulos. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And please hit me with your questions, your comments, your answers, your praise, your scorn, whatever you want. See you next time.
Ring the bell!